Welcome to the Grief Relief Show with mother-daughter team doctors Gloria and Heidi Horsely, brought to you by the Open to Hope Foundation, helping people find hope after loss. Today we'll be talking about losing a sibling. Your brothers and sisters can be your best friends. They're the only people who know who you truly are from the day you're born. There's no bond greater than that of brothers and sisters. There's nobody you can fight with so fiercely one minute and then defend just as fiercely the next. The love between siblings is like no other. And the loss of a sibling can be so devastating that you may feel like you lost a piece of yourself. It's okay if you need help as you struggle to go on living without them. Now here's Dr. Gloria and Dr. Heidi.
Well, Heidi, we've got an interesting show today, and I know that it's one that's dear to your heart.
Yes, it is, and I'm so excited that we are bringing in all these people that have had a sibling die so that we can educate the world about how horrific it is to lose a sibling and what a big part of our lives are gone when our sibling is out of our lives.
Absolutely.
Most kids in the United States will spend 80 to 100% of their lifetimes with their siblings. We spend 33% of our lives with our siblings growing up, even if we don't like them.
Jason Stout is going to come on, and he's got a program that is amazing, Outward Bound. He's a bereaved sibling, so we'll be talking to him today. It's going to be a great show on sibling loss.
I am excited, and I'm particularly excited to talk about Outward Bound because Outward Bound is a program that really saved my life and transformed my life after Scott died.
I don't think there is an ideal thing that a student learns because every course is different, every student is different.
I think the most valuable thing that people learn when they come to Outward Bound is that they're capable of doing more than they thought.
A greater sense of self-confidence.
Confidence.
Confidence that I can really do anything that I want to.
The goal is that every student leaves course as a better person.
Compassion is a theme that goes throughout each section of the course, every day, every moment.
Just gives people that kind of passion for life and that curiosity to go and seek more adventures.
An expedition is about traveling with other people and making sure that everybody gets there and everybody's safe and everybody's taking care of each other.
Probably become a better person because I have learned a lot about myself.
And we're stripped away of all our civilized world.
Yeah, and I hope they just have fun. I hope they find a new way to have fun.
I just want to change the world.
It gets to the heart of it.
I think they'd walk away with finding out something that they didn't know was in them.
Wow, Mom, that really reminded me of my Outward Bound program.
Wow, I remember you going on that. What, you weighed 95 pounds and carried a, what was your pack? We got letters from you.
It was a heavy pack, but I've got to say to everybody out there, you do not need to be athletic to go on this program. Trust me, I wasn't. And I got so much out of it.
And you went 3 months after Scott died and really got yourself some experiences.
I was at the lowest point in my life when I went. Honestly, the pain was so great, I didn't know how I was going to survive or if I wanted to. And after I came back, I knew that anything was possible, and I had hope again. That's how powerful that experience was.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, now we're going to have Jason Stout come on because he is our Outward Bound man, and he's got a new journey for us to talk about.
I'm excited.
Hey, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Good to see you.
Welcome to the show.
Wow, Jason. I love it. Everything you need in your life is right here in this pack, people. Trust me.
All right, Jason, are you going to help him get his pack off?
Oh, I don't know. Let's see. I think he can handle it, Mom.
I brought the light one here, so I would look good.
All right, Jason. Well, Jason, tell us a little bit about your sister and about your childhood. I know you had a lot of losses in your childhood, and have enjoyed, you know, Outward Bound, hiking, and those kinds of things, and set up a whole program. So, but start out by telling us how you got there.
Yeah, well, when I was 4 years old, my sister Maria, she died. She was 5 years old. Maria was born with hydrocephalus. So, you know, hydrocephalus being a brain disorder and excess fluids in her head. So she died, and that was really challenging for me. I just remember how scared I was, that I felt afraid for Maria. I felt like I wanted to know where she was.
And you were a little guy.
And I was a little guy, but I still remember being so worried about her, and you know, when is she coming home? And my mom the other day, she gave me this journal, and she had written that I was always asking, why is there dirt on Maria?
Yeah. So all those young things.
Right.
So then from that, you kind of carried the experience, and you were telling me recently that up until a few years ago, you thought that you'd been involved in her death, right?
Right. Yeah, for many years I carried that story with...
Because she had fallen or something?
Yeah, I was holding her on a couch like this one day, and I was loving Maria, and I dropped her, and it was only maybe 6-8 inches, and she was crying. And I was crying, and that was my last memory of Maria.
Wow. So now you've started this program called Heroic Journey.
Right.
Right, for Outward Bound. You worked with Outward Bound, and tell us about that.
Right, so Heroic Journey, what that is it is Outward Bound. We're using all the same things that we do on Outward Bound, like rock climbing, hiking up a 14,000-foot peak. But what we're doing is we're making it more relevant for teenagers that are grieving. We've added some activities that give the kids that space where they can move into their grief, hold onto it, and let it go. And they're fun activities. And so it's 90% Outward Bound, so they're having fun, and they're finding out what they're capable of, but then we have space set aside where we can talk about what happened and connect with each other.
Yeah. Well, let's take a couple of questions from the audience. Oh, we're going to do that at the end, aren't we? Okay. We're going over to look at your equipment in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's take a look over at your equipment, and then we'll take some questions.
Sounds great.
Want to remind Heidi of some of your equipment.
I know. This is exciting. This is a time travel for me, Jason.
Right.
So here we are over looking at this. Right.
Okay.
So what do we got here?
So right here, well, we have the backpack over there, but here we have a climbing rope.
Wow.
And I think the climbing rope really represents Outward Bound, because Outward Bound is about using challenge, adventure-based challenge, to bring out the best in people.
And Heidi, you remember climbing, right?
Well, the thing about it was, everybody has a strength on Outward Bound, and you don't know where your strengths lie till you get there. And I had never climbed in my life. I mean, my idea of roughing it is a hotel without room service. So, when I went there, I got this, they said, Heidi, you can do it. And I said, I don't know if I can, but my brother had just died, and I was surviving that, so I thought, I'm going to push myself. And it was amazing. Right. This was my strength, was climbing. Rock climbing and propelling. I never thought I would be good at it.
I want you to tell Jason the story of what happened to you hiking up the mountain. Okay. And our audience.
Okay, Mom, you want me to do that now?
Yep.
On my brother's 18th birthday, he had only been dead 3 months. I was in the exact same mountain region, the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, as he had been 3 months ago. And we had just gotten up an extremely intense hike, and it was all these false summits, and we honestly did not think we could go on. And my group said, we can't go on, we're not going to go on. And we weren't with our leader, we were meeting them. And I seriously prayed to my brother, and I said, Scott, if I've ever needed you, it's now. I need you. You need to just somehow help us. And some energy force came in and just propelled us up that mountain. And I know he was with us that day. And it was his birthday. Wow. So it was a beautiful thing. So I felt very connected to him.
And I know you talked about looking behind you and thinking somebody had been pushing you up.
I felt hands on my shoulders pushing me up the mountain. But there was no one behind me.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that really, for the kids that have been doing Outward Bound and this special program for grieving teens on Outward Bound, we hear a lot of stories. Going out into the wilderness and getting away from everything. I think that we connect with that person.
You do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you have some little rituals where you write things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their names on the equipment.
Yeah. Well, we have one of the things we do, and on every course, and you did this, right? You climb to the top of a mountain, you do a peak ascent. But what we do is we hand out athletic tape, and the participants can write the name of their loved one who died, and then also someone alive that they care about, and then they climb that mountain.
Yeah.
And it's a 14,000-foot
That's
peak.
amazing.
And it's so hard. And every step that they take, they're connecting with that person until they get to the top.
Wow. Well, tell us about this stove. I mean, Heidi complained and complained and complained about taking the stove.
Well, you don't want to carry any more than you have to, trust me, because your life is on your back.
Right. Well, we were talking, 1982, that's when you did
83, yeah.
1983, I'm sorry. The stoves might have been bigger then.
Yes,
so
they were.
This is the Whisper Light. This is a very light stove. And but you can cook up big pots of pasta, refried beans.
Yeah, sweet, a lot of that.
Yeah.
We eat peanut butter.
Yeah.
I know you guys were laughing about how good the food tastes out there.
Yeah, I mean, if we were to have some of that food right now, we might not want it. But when you're out in the wilderness and you've been hiking all day and you've been exercising, then it's incredible what will taste good.
You know, Heidi, I really liked what you said about going out there 3 months later, because I think there's people out there in the audience who are thinking, could I do that this early, you know?
Well, you know, Mom, my life was hell at that point, and so I felt, you know what, my life can't be any worse than it is on this now, and so I might as well just go out and do something out of my comfort zone because I was in such a bad space.
Right.
I think one of the highlights of the program for me was the 3-day solo. Yeah. Being alone with a journal and myself and not having to wear the mask and pretend was very freeing. And you don't have to pretend on this program. Right. You can cry, you can scream, you can yell. Nobody cares.
Right.
It was a beautiful thing.
Well, let's take some questions. I know we might have some questions from the audience out there for you guys.
Jen Pacheco. Do we have any heroic journey for adults programs?
Yeah, that's a great question. So since we started this program back in 2006, we've had about 550 participants graduate from the 7-day program. And most of those have been teenagers, ages 14 to 18, but we have done a couple of patrols. That's what we call our groups of 10, and they were ages 19 to 24. And it was a wonderful program for them, and we are excited about adding some adult programs. At this point right now, we are primarily serving just 14 to 18-year-olds, but I would look on the Outward Bound website and just stay in touch with us because that new adult course should come open the end of 2013.
Fabulous.
Well, thank you. So Heidi and Jason, I want to know what you think. If you're both bereaved siblings, I would like to know what you think that the main thing, if you could tell a sibling out there, what would it be?
You first.
The main thing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, Mom, that's tough. That's a really hard question. Ooh, I guess for me, you'll never forget your brother or sister ever. It doesn't matter how much time goes. They live forever in our hearts, our memories. My brother is my guiding light, and he gives me endless energy, and he's always with me.
Yeah. I would say that it's important to find a program, whether it's a heroic journey or compassionate friends, to connect with others that have experienced what you have. And there's just so many wonderful programs out there, 650 chapters for compassionate friends. And I think nothing feels better than knowing that you're not alone in the grief journey.
I agree with that.
Well, Jason, we have something for you today. Open to Hope wants to give you a check for a student to go on Outward Bound, a bereaved person, and we would love a bereaved sibling, and we want people to know out there, if you know somebody who's a bereaved sibling that you would like to send on the Outward Bound program, we are giving a scholarship to Jason, and it will be a full scholarship for flight and whatever to go on your program.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank you.
Thank you, Jason,
Thank you.
for everything you're doing. It's so important.
Yeah, it is so important, the work you're doing with Outward Bound. And Heidi, you're a perfect example of...
Absolutely. I will sing Outward Bound's praises because, like I said, it has changed me.
Absolutely. I think it's knowing that you are able to do something that you never thought you could, and that stretch and that journey that you have people do is going beyond your capacity, and you're always there to support them And I love the fact that you're a bereaved sibling, and you know what it is for them. And you've also lost a parent too. Didn't you lose your parent before you were 14 too?
Yeah. When I was 4, my sister died, and when I was 7 years old, my grandmother was murdered. And then when I was 14, my dad died of a heart attack in his sleep.
Amazing. It's so inspirational for me to hear someone that's had all these losses before 14 and has gone on to transform their lives and help others through the journey.
Yeah.
You are inspirational.
Well, and I just want to say that Outward Bound has been a big part of my healing journey, and I started with a 7-day course, and I took a 78-day Outward Bound course.
Wow.
And that gave me the
Jason,
confidence to do this.
we got to wrap it up now,
Love
and
it.
I want to thank everybody for watching the show today, and blessings to all those people in Newtown, and to all the bereaved siblings out there. You'll make it, right?
Yeah.
And God bless.
Absolutely.
So we're going to keep talking now because we want to have it talking going on before the end of the show.
Yeah.
Thanks for Jason being here. That was really fun and
so
wonderful.
helpful.
And we love having you.
That's great. This is for you. You'll love this.
This has been the Grief Relief Show, hosted by mother-daughter team Drs. Gloria and Heidi Horsely. This show has been brought to you by the Open to Hope Foundation, helping people find hope after loss. Be sure to visit opentohope.com, where you can listen to radio programs, watch Open to Hope TV, read articles, and view books. You can also join Dr. Gloria and Dr. Heidi on Twitter and Facebook and put your events on their international calendar. Thanks for watching, and remember, others have been there and made it, and you can too.